Welcome. My name is Thomas Ledford. I'm here in this video to share some most frequently asked questions from some people new to getting started in 2020 who wants to know about what that looks like, and they had some questions and concerns they have, so they reached out to me, uh, and so I was here to answer some questions for them. So in this video, I'm just going to talk about some of the things that we went over that they had to ask, and so I've been doing this for the last 18 years. The last 12 as a business owner. Specialize in setting up people as an income tax service because that's where the money comes from, being your own boss. And so position yourself from employee to employer is where you want to eventually go to, and start off as a self-employed tax service into a business that actually operates independently of you being there. Is the end game for being your own boss and having your own business regardless of whatever it is. And so I started out as a self-employed tax person, and then over time I built up my skills and my knowledge and my clientele, and I was able to hire people who got the job done for me. So if I never came back to work again, my business made money. So that's the place you want to get to. So in this video, I got some questions that was asked over the week from people that's new to getting started in 2020 with their own income tax service. And the number one most popular question I get a lot is, what's the best tax software? Well, to me, there's no best software. All tax software is not created equal. It's all based on price point. And also, to me, what's the most user-friendly software is the key to that. Because I don't want to show you software that, in my opinion, is not user-friendly, that you're going to have a hard time using and get frustrated with. And then now you looking to get a refund back from the vendor who sold you the software. And now you're not motivated to do returns on that software. So I don't want to put you in that predicament. So what I would do is ask you what's the most user-friendly software for you and what's your budget. So if you work with me, I would show you 3 to 5 different softwares based on your budget and ask you which one is the most user-friendly for you and tell you to go with that. That's how I would do you if you was working with me as far as getting started for the 2020 tax season. Like I said, I got a special going on, $9.97 for 2 years worth of training and support for people who are looking to get started, who are new to this industry in 2020. I offer a full array of services for people who look to get started and who might not really have a budget. Because when I got started back in 18 years ago, I didn't have no budget, and I didn't have no money, but I was able to use the cheapest software I can afford based on my budget. So the software I used back then was $99, but it got the job done. And so I was able to use what I needed to use to get started. I was able to make me some money, and I was able to upgrade to different softwares, try out different packages and things of that nature until I found some stuff I was comfortable with. And so that's the path you're really going to go on as you get started and being new to this industry. So when it comes to software, it's about what's the most user-friendly and which one you can afford based on your budget. I've been using Drake for years. Drake is expensive to a lot of people. They do have a pay-as-you-go version, but you will pay more for that one when it's all said and done than you would if you was able to buy it outright. So, and I feel Drake is user-friendly, but like I said, it meets my needs based on what I need it for. I got individual people as well as people who need 1065s done and 1120s done, 1120s and all that. So Drake gives you everything you need to pay returns regardless of who they are. So that's why I stick with Drake, plus it's user-friendly. But like I say, there's other softwares out here that's much cheaper than Drake that might be user-friendly for you, but we don't know until you get a demo of it, try it out, and you judge for yourself. One of the things about getting new and being started is you want to be willing to invest in your success. The fast track to success these days is to invest in someone who's been there and done where you're trying to go. So I've been doing this for 18 years, 12 as a business owner. So work with me, I'm gonna streamline you and guide you through getting set up and all that to the point where you being in Facebook groups and different forums and asking all these different questions, that's time consuming. And you still have to go out here and still do your research on what tax software you're gonna use anyway. You know what I'm saying? But that's the disadvantage of working by yourself and not having no one you can work with that's gonna guide you through this process of getting set up and help you with training and support during the tax season. So like I said, such thing as the best software. My question is, what's the most user-friendly software and one you can afford based on your budget? Another question was that they asked me. Another question they asked was, what third-party bank should I use? Well, but a lot of times the third-party banks are connected to what software you're going to use. A lot of software companies give you different options of what banks they partnered with. So that's going to vary from software to software. A lot of software you might use, they all might use the same banks or a combination thereof. So the third party bank situation, it's going to give you options based on what software vendor you use. So that's how that works when it comes to third parties. Another frequently asked question was, how long does it take to generally get your EFIN done? And now your EFIN is your electronic file identification number, which is the number you need to be able to buy professional software and to be able to work with our third-party banks that's going to take your fees out of your refund for you. And it generally takes anywhere from 45 to 60 days unless the IRS is really behind, and then they will send you a letter and tell you that. But generally, that's what it takes, 45 to 60 days. So you still got time if you haven't put in your application to get that done. And so for people who don't have professional status already, like a CPA, then you would have to, or enrolled agent or tax attorney, then you would have to take fingerprints as well. And the fingerprints price point varies based on what demographics you live in. So for me, I paid maybe $10 to $20 for 2 fingerprint cards that the IRS send you to get fingerprinted. So that's the basic simple process for that. Then another question was how to set up a business account. Well, the business account is going to vary based on where you live, based on if you got good credit or decent credit or not. Do you have any issues with the check system? Because for people who are not incorporated, who deal with maybe a smaller bank, they're going to run your social and all that to determine if they're going to let you get credit. And so if you are inside check system in a negative way, it's going to be difficult to get a business account. But if you're incorporated and you're with a bigger bank like Chase or Bank of America, I'm in the Midwest, I'm in the Chicagoland area, so Chase and Bank of America, for incorporated entities, they use their incorporation documents to set up an account. They didn't run my social. So that's one of the ways they bypass having issues with getting a business account. If you have issues with being able to get one because you have some issues in the past that might come back to haunt you now. So again, when it comes to getting started in 2020, you still have time. One of the things you don't want to do is reinvent the wheel. What I mean by that is simply trying to get started on your own because you're not willing to invest in someone who already been there and done it, who's going to guide you, streamline you to success, for getting you set up, helping you to make some money. And if you already got clientele established that's going to come with you when you get started, then you halfway home. You know what I'm saying? And then you just build on what you already have. So to have someone that's going to help you with basic marketing techniques and strategies to help you bring in clientele, someone who's going to help you to get your business up and running on the front end as well as the back end, is priceless. My knowledge and my skills and my insight is what you're paying for. You know what I'm saying? So that's why this special I got for $997 for 2 years of training and support is bar none worth its weight in gold. And so there's a lot of companies out here who offer similar packages and businesses for people who are already tax professionals and people who are new to getting started. But a lot of times, if you don't read those contracts you sign with these guys, you end up getting the short end of the stick as far as the percentage piece that y'all end up splitting on the revenue that's generated based off you already having clientele that you're going to bring through their company by using their software, by getting their training and getting their support. You end up being short. So one of the young ladies talked about that on one of the Facebook groups that I'm in, of how she joined a 3-year contract to find out after the fact that it wasn't to her best interest. So I worked with people in the past where we partnered together. They let me use my software. They let me use everything I had to get the business started, and the money was split 50-50 all the way down the line. No hidden fees. It was all laid out for them where it made sense. So if you have any questions you want to ask me about getting started in 2020, this is opportunity to do so. I'm giving a free 30-minute strategy session for people who looking to get started in 2020, who not sure if it's too late or not, not sure what that's going to look like, reach out to me, and we can set up a study session call, do a Zoom call, phone call, combination of both. It's really up to you on how you want to do that. Another frequently asked question this week was, do I need to incorporate or not? Well, the incorporate is up to you. You can decide I'm gonna wait until I see how well my business takes off and grow before I incorporate, or you might decide you want to do that out the gate. That's really a personal decision. It doesn't. There's no big deal either way. So we don't get ourselves caught up about that one. Another question was, what payment processor even though you in the income tax field and you have a third party bank that's going to collect fees on your behalf, you still want to have your own separate payment processors outside of the third party banking system, because it may be a situation where once the season is over, you might get some clientele that's going to come through to get their taxes done, where you still need to be able to collect your fee for people who looking to pay up front because they don't have a refund coming or don't have a large enough refund, because number one, like I said, once the season shuts down, everybody at that point who still needs some work done on some level have to basically pay up front for services rendered. So I'm looking to get started in 2020. I'm looking to help 5 individuals. That's all I got slots for to help this year is 5 individuals who look to get started in 2020, from moving from employee to employer by getting their own income tax business started. Individuals who probably been working 3, 4, 5, 7, 10 years for other income tax firms who now feel ready to go off on their own and do their own thing. That's why I specialize in help individuals get done. So you get with you and walk you through that process from A to Z. No stones unturned is what I help individuals do. And for the price point and special I got going on, it's going to pay for itself in your first tax season. So if you already got clientele or not, the price point I got is going to still pay for itself in this first upcoming season by working with me. So, like I said, if you got any questions or concerns about getting started in 2020, reach out to me. I got contact information down in my video. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. So every time I go live, I do an upload, you'll be notified. And like I said, it's not too late to get started in 2020. For people who on the fence about, should I get started now? Should I wait another season? Please reach out to me and let's talk. Let's have a strategy session. We do a conference call, like I said. We can do a Zoom call. The choice is up to you. But like I said, it's still not too late to get started in 2020 when it comes to getting started in this industry. This is a great, awesome industry. The only downside to this industry and as a whole is that it's not really regulated like I would like it to see. And based on where you live, some states, it's maybe about 4 or 5 states, they have some regulations going on. In addition to that, other states don't have it all. Like I said, I'm in Illinois. We have nothing really going on that's going to stop a person from throwing a sign out on the window saying tax preparation done here. So that's the thing about that. So, but it's up to you to be all you can be and get the training and support you need to be ready for the upcoming tax season. So like I said, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe, hit the bell for notifications so you can be notified. And then in the description area, I got the special that's going on from up until Black Friday, which is November 29th of 2019. Any questions or concerns you may have, reach out to me, please. It's not too late. And I'll see you in my next video.